and maybe get some permission from the landowners.
Yeah.
So we could start going a little bit. But anyway, all that, the rain came Saturday. If you were locally in Kinston, the rain came, and they still had their Civil War meeting, and they just did it inside. I think they did it at the
museum,
the CSS News Museum, Civil War Museum in Kinston. But as far as going to the battlefields and stuff, they didn't go because it was so wet and nasty. So I talked to Kinston, City of Kinston, our contact there. And good news is for Down South Supernatural, since we didn't get to be a part of it and the tickets sold out, we are getting a private tour of the Wise Fork battlefield with the historians who actually go around the world teaching about the Civil War.
Yeah.
So I thought that was awesome that they wanted to do that for us.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna call them back and tell us to give them 2 weeks, and they're set up a time so it works for all of us. But I think that's flat out amazing that they want to do that with us.
That is pretty amazing.
Take the time to send us out and teach us about it. But anyway, also something to talk about. Let's see if I can share the screen. I'm not sure how it's going to happen with. Let's see. With Halo. All right, Halo. There you go. Flip this over. Halo, don't get off. Stay right there. All right. Halo's backstage. So we wanted to show you this right here. So on April the 13th, 2024, which is just a few weeks away. What's that, about 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Honestly.
Yeah, I think it's 3 or 4 weeks. I don't even know what the date is.
13th.
So yes, it's a month away. It's a Saturday.
1, 2,
so 4
3,
weeks.
4. Yeah.
So 4 weeks we'll be at the Trevette Clinic at the Parafest. Riley's got us signed up. A month from today. Just happens to fall on Saturday. Also, Chastity, she'll be there also.
Yeah.
She'll be a guest. I think she'll probably even be speaking there. They're not going to let us speak, me and Riley, because we just suck.
Yeah, I suck royally.
Halo, she don't suck quite as bad as we do. Dylan, you suck too.
It's all right, Squill. Just thought he'd try, buddy.
Anyway, so if you get a chance and you've never been to the Trevette Clinic in Hamptonville, North Carolina, it'd be a great time to go. There'll be other paranormal teams there. I'm pretty sure they'll have different discussions, people speaking, all things paranormal, I guess, and just finding out about the history of the haunted Trevette Clinic. We've been several times, and I'll just say it is haunted by far.
Yeah.
Okay, Chastity said we're going to hop her up here now. So at this time, we'll come back and talk about the Trevette Clinic before it's over.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Probably even get Chastity to talk about it with us.
So we're going to bring in Chastity, and Halo will pop you back up here. There she is.
Hi, Chastity.
How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Hanging in there.
That's awesome. I hope you got a. Say what?
I was going to say it's been balls to the wall lately.
Yeah.
Same for us, too. Not really being able to or being able to do some of the things we want to because work's getting in the way.
I understand.
Kind of bothering Riley, too.
Yeah, trust me.
I keep telling him we're going to do some investigations. We're just going to have to stay local. I need about 2 more weekends to finish a project we got going on. So after that, we'll be ready to roll.
Yes, I want to definitely chat with you guys. Either we can, I can announce it live, or we can talk later about a couple of the locations because I'm really super close to them, and I would love to join you guys.
We'd love to have you.
What's going on, Angel? Glad to have you, buddy.
Hey,
Angel's up here. He's Durham Paranormal. He's probably a little closer to you than we are, of course. He's in Durham.
Okay.
And he's an awesome guy. Him and his wife Ruth have a paranormal group, and he also makes. The heck you laughing at me for? Because I'm stuttering.
No,
I'm
laughing at the story he told us about him being psychic
he Angel has been in some serious situations with some demon type deal.
Mm.
Yeah, he's experienced some things that'll make you, like Riley says. I mean, he's had us laughing a lot, which wasn't that matter, but to hear Angel tell his story is
Pretty hilarious.
very intense, and to see his facial expression when a demon's coming at him, he sees the black figure coming to him, and he says, "What the?" When it's coming, and Angel. If I'm telling it wrong, I'm sorry, but he actually feels the spirit go through him. He could feel the temperature change and feel it go through his body. Which
Wow.
man, that is crazy.
Yeah.
And his wife Angel.
Ruth.
I'm sorry, Ruth.
You said
sorry.
You said why? You said
I know what I said. Damn, give me a break.
Angel's wife, Angels.
Ruth is an angel. How about that?
I'm gonna suck.
You suck.
Anyway, his wife's name is Ruth, and she is very sensitive. I mentioned to you when you were up here. Seriously, she's she speaks with the spirits. I'm telling you, you and her, you probably have. Well, she's just got it. Like y'all got it. I don't hear anything, or I feel some things, but I don't hear anything that I know of.
I'd love to meet them, or at least chat with them. So if y'all are in the chat, try to connect with me. I'd love to talk to you.
Yeah, they're up here. So I got Halo's here. I don't think you met Halo last time. I'll bring Halo back in. Halo,
I have not.
She's our. Yep. So Halo is she just started with us. What, a few months? Well, maybe before the holidays. Halo.
Yeah.
Halo's young, and she's we found out quickly I don't know why the first place we took her was probably one of the worst places we've ever been.
No.
But it didn't distract her at all.
Yeah, we brought her in good. I'll have to say that.
But her growing up in a haunted house, truly old, very old home, probably helped break her in. Halo, what are you, 17, 18? How old are you, Halo?
1800s, yep.
No, your age.
Oh, me? Oh, my birthday's I'm about to be 18.
I hear you. There you
go. I'm excited.
Okay, so Halo's got a birthday coming up.
Yeah, happy early birthday. I would love to chat with you more too, because if you're this young and you already are starting to do this, like, I'd be happy to offer you like a free session, to kind of help you flourish with that if that's something you're interested in. That's what I was telling them last time. I'd love to connect with you. I know you just added me as a friend. I was like, I think that's the girl they were telling me about. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up with a demon that they call the Hat Man or whatever, the tall black figure with the top hat. I grew up, he followed me through 2-3 houses. So that I was young, 6, 7 maybe is when it started.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's because of your light, because you're intuitive. It's just like it happened to me, because a couple of the stories that I have planned to share today has happened to me. One happened to me a couple of years ago, and one of them happened to me when I was like 22-ish. But I had the same stuff happen to me, especially when I got up to Stokes County. And it's because of your light, because they can see you just radiate like a lighthouse. So, and that's the type of people that I work with, because I specialize in the paranormal and spirit. Sorry.
No, I was just picking on you. I thought you said I was a light.
You are. Yeah. We all have light, but if she's had hauntings that bad, it's definitely we'll need some guidance eventually. Maybe not, but I'd be happy to talk to you. I'd love to get to know you more.
And kid spirits are the main thing. I mean,
yeah.
The Hell House we went to, and then in Wilmington, do the cat balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had been in the what I called, and I may have mentioned it last time, a local home to us that has some issues for real. So we went there, and we had been 2 or 3 times before we decided to go with Halo, and we knew there was a young spirit there. We had several ages that we had got an age from her. What was the last 9 years old?
9.
Yeah, 9.
Wow.
But anyway, she would never have anything to do with us. She would talk to us a little bit. She would never really communicate with us through any devices other than we got some crazy EVPs, and come through one of our spirit boxes sounded just like a little girl. When I say a little girl, I picture a little blonde-headed, petite little girl with a very high-pitched voice. When she come through, she, told us her name. It was Emily. She's 9 years old. I can't remember how long she's not alone there. But anyway, other than that, she would just like turn a light switch off. It was like something was making her, telling her, "Hey, leave them alone." Or anyway, but when Halo came, she sat in Halo's lap. It was so amazing. So,
that's crazy.
Just had some the REM pods just going crazy on
person, and not through the S method. Like we heard it.
Oh yeah.
Above here as day help me.
Wow.
Voice. I can't get that in my head.
Yeah, and that's sad because see me, I'm like, oh, we got to cross this. We got to cross them over. We need to get them to the light. Like that hurts my heart to be such a little girl.
Yeah,
man, that's wild. That
place,
I do remember you actually saying that now. And that place, definitely, you said they're probably going to tear it down. I would love to go out there if I could, man. I really would, because that's crazy, especially if they're going to tear it down, because, the spirits that are there, if they're going to keep going to people to try to find help to cross over, especially if it's a human earthbound. So
yeah,
sad situation.
We feel like she's okay. We actually thought we were being tricked by some type of negative energy for sure.
It's always possible.
Making us think it was a little girl. But after Halo went, I really feel like it was, we heard her running through the house. She got away from Halo and run to the front of the house, which happened to be our room right beside us. We actually heard footsteps running.
Like a child.
And then all of a sudden, the negative male spirit who has made himself known several times with us there, as far as throwing things, beating things,
scratching people.
First time I'd ever been. I didn't get scratched, but I got kind of a little shove. Was there. I've never been touched. I've heard Riley, he's been scratched several times.
Yeah, bloody murder for real.
But anyway,
that's crazy.
That place.
That's crazy.
And I know people who are watching this are like, y'all are nuts. You're crazy. That really didn't happen. And look, a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, I said the same thing. I didn't believe any of it, but I can't believe I'm saying it. It does happen. It is real. It's for real. So I don't quite understand the spirits. I don't understand the supernatural. But I know it's real.
Yeah.
It's real. And I don't understand.
It's very real.
The hardest part I have trying to figure out is, why don't people cross over? Why are they hung up? You know what I mean? I don't get that part.
I think
it's several reasons.
Over and over how they died. They're reliving their life, and they're just spook like hell, and they can't get out.
Yeah. It's technically kind of like a form of hell. Like she's saying, she's right. It can be taken in that consideration, and people don't cross over for a multitude of reasons. They don't realize they die, the trauma that's keeping them here. They have family left here. They don't realize they're dead. They want to stay. They're scared to go to the light for judgment. Like every case is different situationally, and that's the good thing about having somebody that's intuitive around too, because is every intuitive person going to pick up on everything? No, we perceive energy and stuff in different ways. That's the beautiful thing. And once we learn how every individual has intuitive impressions, right? And the way that we receive energy. And once you learn your channels or your avenues of how you perceive energy of the world, supernatural or not, it makes a total difference. And that's kind of my goal with people, is to, enlighten them on how they're perceiving things that helps them along their journey, whether it's to live life or do spiritual work. It's very interesting. Like I'm still in beginning. I can teach stuff, but I'm still on the beginning of my journey too. I've only been doing this for 5 years, like publicly almost. So, well, not publicly, but 5 years, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, but it's very real.
Overwhelming? I mean, do you ever feel like very overwhelmed?
At first, not
when you
anymore.
feel so overwhelmed when you feel like you don't have an answer for something, or do you
Yeah.
always figure it out?
I always get some information, and for the most part, like with my clients and stuff, we at least get to the bottom of what it is. So I
Yeah.
can figure it out for the most degree and kind of like what spirit wants me to know. And I say spirit, that's higher divine vibrational entities only for me. I do not work with darker things. I can talk to
Mhm.
darker things, and of course, higher benevolent things. But I generally get to the bottom of a lot of stuff and at least enough information to help the client. But ultimately, when somebody's suffering from a paranormal activity, I realized early on that there's an origin for that, and you have to get back to that origin, heal that trauma, or find out where it came in and close it up. Because there's such a there's close similarities between emotions and paranormal activity. If you think about it, there's a correlation between those two things always. Period. If you're high vibrational and you're happy and you're positive, you still can have things come through because the type of work that I do, my little astronaut that's shining back there, I had a client and it literally cut on one night by itself. And I'm like, oh, that's how I know, because I've learned from case after case that I'll take on my clients' paranormal experiences to kind of get an
Yeah.
idea of what they're going through. So sometimes it represents in the physical. So, I mean, it just, it's never really overwhelming because I get like an equivalent energy exchange now from my cases. So by helping people, it feeds me to go further with this and not everybody can be helped because not everybody can understand all the stuff and they don't want to, or they have emotional blocks that they can't get past. But you can pretty much bet if somebody's not crossing over, there's some type of emotional bond that is leaving them here in life. That's why you have to work through your traumas and forgiveness and forgive yourself for the things that you do where it weighs on your shoulders. You can translate that over into the physical world. So you notice people that have paranormal issues, they have something going on or they're low vibrational. We have to get their energy raised up, and it's part of their work too. There's no magic wand to go like poof, like I can help somebody,
Yeah.
but like if they don't change their ways, it can come right back.
Yeah. Some people, I can imagine some people probably that can't let go of certain things,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and that could cause issues from what I'm imagining.
Yeah. 100%. And it's all about, like, sometimes people aren't meant to some people are meant to have paranormal issues in their life. Just like me and Halo, we have these paranormal issues. There's a reason. And if I never had these paranormal issues, I couldn't help people now. So everything in life, in my opinion, has a purpose, has a reason. And we have to get to the bottom of that and take, whatever path we're meant to take, and that's just
Yeah.
kind of my opinion about it. Is it wrong place, wrong time? Does it suck sometimes? Absolutely. Do we have bad negative feelings? And we're all going to have that. We ride a wave, and we just have to kind of,
Yeah.
float or sink or swim and through all of it. That's just part of life.
Yeah.
Paranormal
I
is a part
understand.
of life.
And I was telling Riley this, and I said it in the group chat about Brushy Mountain Prison.
Ooh.
Before Riley said anything about it, I had a dream. I think it was 3-4 weeks before. Mind you, I know you guys talked about before. I've never looked at pictures of this place. I've never researched it. Nothing. I just kind of was like, okay, that's cool. I had a dream that we went there for an investigation, and it was insane. We dealt with a demon. We scratched everything. And then when Riley posted that TikTok in the group chat, I was like, oh, that place inside is directly imaged to my dream. It looks the exact same. And in the video, you can't see
Crazy, ain't it?
it. And I was like, the only difference is there's no staircase at the end. And Riley goes, but there is one. And I was like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Remember that
awesome.
staircase
Yeah, there's
that
lots.
walks up to the cell block?
Yeah, there's staircases on each end of every hallway.
it looks
Mhm.
When you're upstairs there.
though, and I mean picture perfect. And I've never, when you dream, it's usually things you've seen before. Your brain puts it in. I've never seen the inside of this place before, not
Yeah.
once. this dream.
You were connecting with that energy big time, because you're spot on about it. And there is some very dark things there. I don't know every detail, but I've watched stuff on it. And yeah, you're spot on. And if you're having those types of dreams, just like when I help a client or something like that, I'll have dreams like that, prophetic-y type dreams. So that definitely, you're very prophetic. That's awesome. But it also is kind of a warning. But then you have to ask yourself, you have to have the discernment to say, like, was this one of the entities that knew I was connecting with the energy that's coming in and giving me these dreams, or was it a warning from my spirit guides? To me, that seemed like a warning from your guides to like really prepare yourself, because there's possibility y'all might go. That would be really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, I channeled something really dark there. I mean, it didn't last long at all, but there was a good 30-second blip there where something dark came over me.
Come out of brushy.
Yeah, when we first turned down that cell block to walk down the front of the cells, and we were looking in the cells, looking at all the.
There's some wild. Actually, most of that place is still like it was when they closed it, but like inside the cells are actually drawings that people who were in those cells at some point in time. You know, they put the calendars up there and they're marking off the days. And there's like pictures, giant drawings of Jesus, and in the background, some crazy demon spirit drawn in there. So it's like that dude was, with a picture like that fellow was dealing with something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the darkest spirits there has to be James Earl Ray.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was in that prison his whole life after what he did.
Yeah, he got moved. Actually, another wild thing is so in the Brushy Mountain, there's a museum there.
Yeah.
And of course, you can do the tour and walk through it, but it leads you to the museum first. And in there is all, back in the day, I'm talking about when that place opened a long time ago.
Yeah.
But the weapons those guys made back in the day is crazy fascinating. And also outside the main prison, between the main prison and the museum, there's a whipping post out there where the guards, it's like a wood cross. Sadly, it's shaped like a cross.
It is.
And it has shackles on each side of it, and they would tie prisoners up. And who knows what they had to do to make it to the whipping post, but it said how many deaths were accounted for on that whipping post. So naturally, I'm thinking in a prison, it's inmate on inmate. But sadly, at that prison, now there were some, it tells you how many prisoners threw some off the second floor onto the concrete, and they have some statistics, whether they're true or not. But it was amazing the amount of people that were killed by the guards.
Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah, back years ago, it's just different. I'm sure it's different now. Of course, I don't want to find out, but that place, like Riley says, when we walked in the main entrance and we walked down the first long hall,
I felt real.
You can feel it.
So the end of cells, I want to see how that hallway is, because in my dream it was straight, and then I'm pretty sure it turned left. And if that is how it is in that prison, I'm gonna lose my mind.
That's how it does, because the steps laid out.
It actually goes left. It's a T. You can go left.
It's a
right.
T. Yeah,
you were kind of seeing it.
You were channeling.
You're highly gifted for sure.
Wow, Halo. We're going to have to give you a raise.
Yeah.
Halo, you got a promotion. You're on live duty Wednesday nights every night now.
I was going to say there's something really, that kind of darkness, it collects into and this is just my opinion, when you have so many bad things, bad thoughts, people that already had attachments coming in there because they're getting in trouble, those types of places, it almost creates, again, like a spiritual liminal space where all these emotions get funneled into, and it creates a bunch of thought form type entities. It attracts darkness and entities that have, never breathed on the earth type stuff. And it just creates this dark liminal space. But there's always something, there's always a ranking system and that kind of stuff. And generally, from what I found by remote investigating and tuning into the energy, turns into like this mass of darkness that can transmute or like shift into other things and really work on people's fears. It's really wild. And, you know, I'll leave that there, but I will say this one thing I'm picking up intuitively about that place. Whoever ended up, and I don't know if anybody in the chat knows, please let me know, but whoever built that place had an affiliation with some type of secret society. And there was a lot of things and energy put into that place that was very dark. So I don't know if that can be validated, but, and I'm not going to list what I'm thinking. I think people can pick up on what I'm talking about, but there's like people in the head, almost like y'all kind of get where I'm going with that. I don't really like talking about it a whole lot, but there's just people that were a part of an affiliation that did darker things.
Occult stuff.
Yeah, part
Yeah, occult stuff, things, yeah.
This investigation was so bad, but, you know, obviously so good that you guys never wanted to go back to the place after this one time we go. You guys
That's interesting.
Back.
It sure is if you hear that from this one beside me.
I already want to go back. And I hadn't even gone yet.
Yeah, we're going to go back. We're definitely going to go back, and we're going to try to spend the night. We'll see how that goes. I don't know how.
That's a bucket list location for me, and you definitely probably want to take some folks because I think it's like $800 or $1,200 just to go do the overnight. You can take 6 to 8 people because I've looked up all my locations and wanted to, you know, it's wild.
We're going to go. I know Angel and his wife will go. Durham Paranormal. And we'll pick a few more.
Yeah.
That is one that is one Dylan and Halo, of course, but that's one place. I'll tell you this. We talk about this all the time, Riley and I. We pay that $1,000, $1,500 to go to places, and we get let down most of the time compared to the activity we can find locally.
Yeah.
But without a shadow of a doubt, knowing what I already know about Brushy from mine and Riley's 6 hours there, we'll get our money's worth there. I'm not even worried about it. That place has got it, and you know, I don't know. And there's a lot of it. It's like there's a lot of stories that need to be told about that place that are not told. I don't feel like it's all dark neither. Of course, I do feel like there's some darkness there.
Yeah, but, there's something. There's definitely, if not more than one, there is something dark there for sure.
There's no telling. There's probably a lot of darkness there.
Yeah,
but I feel like there's a lot of people who got in the mix. Yeah, you got to pee, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
He's got to step off stage.
Look,
he's got to.
All right.
That monster's going.
He's growling at me.
That burped. I'm sorry. We're letting all kinds of things loose right now.
Yeah, just keep it real.
Yeah, just keep it real. I'll be right back.
All right. So I was going to say, so the Brookstown Inn, super close to me, and then Lydia's Bridge is probably pretty close too. I'd love to join y'all.
Well,
that'd be great.
About, these guys, Dylan and Riley, been on us about Lydia's Bridge. I don't know how many times I've heard that. Where's Lydia's Bridge?
Greensboro-ish. Okay. I don't know what side of Greensboro it's on, but
what bridge did we go to? Where did we go in Asheville?
Helen's
Bridge. So we went to Helen's Bridge, which is a really neat spot.
Yeah, we got some great communication there.
It's interesting because I was going to do an investigation based on what's it called, Brookstown Inn, because of some situations I've had here in Winston. With there's a big water tank that busted, and it's a whole story of mine, but a big water tank busted in 1904 and flooded Winston. And I ended up, part of my journey of coming into being psychic, I ended up seeing those flashes and what happened. And I didn't realize I was getting intuitive information because I didn't know anything about it, like, you know, because the psychic stuff really has exploded over like the last 7 years. And Halo, with you coming up and being in this type of culture and it being more accepted, like the heights you can reach with your abilities is going to be absolutely amazing, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Charles anymore. I'm actually related to one of the people who got hung at the Salem witch trials. I'm related to Sarah Good.
Wow, that's crazy.
I didn't know.
You definitely need to go to Salem.
It's on my bucket list. It's there.
Yeah.
So when Monster Energy steps in and gives us this big old sponsorship, and we get our nice motorhome, and we'll hit the road, we'll take you there, Halo.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Manifestation at its best.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Yeah. There's a lot of sponsorships going on out there in the world. Those big guys on TV, they're getting it from somewhere.
Yeah.
Discovery Channel, Travel Channel.
YouTube's popping. If you can get on the right trend, if y'all found somebody to do your editing work, I'm excited to see what y'all got. We got to find y'all somebody to help you with that.
Look, we've got some. I got to be careful how I say this. We've got some things on video that we were made to take down because so many people won't believe in it. And the only fight that Riley and I had is like, look, we're two country bumpkins. We don't even know how to edit video. This is raw footage. But we still took it down to keep the heat of so many people, wanting to go to the place we were at. And I mean, like overnight, I don't know, several weeks later, we started talking about it because it took us, Riley and I, it might have been a month later to actually look at the footage. We got enough when we were there. So we looked at the footage and just crazy things were happening. And so we contacted the owner and we showed them the videos and they couldn't believe it. The next day after that, I think they got the owner got like 180 calls. Some of it from local news and stuff like that. It traveled that much. It never come to Riley and I, but they kindly asked us to take the footage down because people were thinking it wasn't real, and it was definitely real. But the things that were happening on video, I can't explain. It's just the wild stuff we had. So I guess the long story I can't tell where, but
yeah, I'd love to hear that story one day.
Yeah.
But going back to what we do have a lot of videos. So somebody we've shouted it out several times. We need somebody to help us with editing. But the sad part about editing, I've noticed a little bit. I've tried to help. Well, Riley can do it a little bit.
I can do it a little bit on phone.
You take 2 hours of video, and it seems like it takes you 8 hours to go through 2 hours. So
it does.
Whoever does editing has to have a lot of time on their hands. Yeah.
I got a video coming out I've been working on all week, but it's a reaction video.
I just pulled up your YouTube channel and was looking at, so you probably edited some of your YouTube stuff, I'm sure.
Everything. I do all my artwork. I do everything myself.
It was really cool. We were looking at the what was it? That was a reaction to true paranormal encounters told by people. That was what you put out. It was March the 3rd, I guess.
Yeah, so I do a lot of work with Lights at Midnight podcast. So that's my podcast with Emily, the Fine Art Medium. I put a lot of content out almost every other week. We have an episode and it goes on the podcast platforms and YouTube, but we just started videoing season 2. So a lot of my content's there, and I've kind of taken a back seat with Luminary Luna Beams, but I'm trying to do lives at least 3 times a month and drop 2 videos now and be more consistent because I'm going to be doing a lot more stuff in 2024, like classes and all kinds of projects and just putting more content out there. So I'm trying to build up more on my Luminary Luna Beams, and then Lights at Midnight, me and Emily both do together. So now, it's a lot.
Emily? Who's Emily? Where's she at?
Emily, the Fine Art Medium. She might be listening in on my YouTube right now. She's my co-host, but she doesn't live near me, unfortunately. She lives up north, and I live here. Me and her have kind of been sidekicking for Emily, like 3 years now. I guess she might be listening. She said she was going to tune in, but she can tell me. I guess 3 years now. But she's a psychic medium that specializes in the paranormal. Me and her became friends over some stuff like a long time ago, and we kind of helped each other, and I've helped her a lot on her journey and understanding her psychic abilities and stuff, and vice versa. So it's been really cool.
Yeah.
So tell me about what kind of we're going to jump to you and let you just roll with it and tell us some stories. It was awesome hearing your stories. Dylan wants me to tell you one of his things. Kind of what I was talking about. A place we went and we ended up having to pull this video down also. It was actually, I thought I had the picture right on, the Savannah Haunting House. In the upstairs bedroom where there's enormous amounts of activity there. I got to be careful how I say these things. We were told not to talk about it no more, but we're talking about it tonight a little bit. So we stopped on the way from North Carolina to Georgia. We stopped at Buc-ee's, the big Buc-ee's chain gas stations that are humongous. We picked up a Buc-ee's stuffed animal, the little Buc-ee, what is he, a beaver?
Yeah, Bucky Beaver.
Bucky the beaver. So we took one with us, and we in the upstairs of this place, their spirits have been seen. They've shown themselves. They've how do you say it?
They manifested.
Not only manifested, but a lady's been held down on the bed by a spirit, pushed down through the mattress and could not move, screaming at the top of her lungs.
Yeah.
On video, they have there's a rocking chair in that room, and all out of the blue, the rocking chair is just sitting there rocking. And Dylan, I don't know why, but Dylan, this part of our crew, I know why. He actually slept in this bedroom while we were there. He stayed there all night while Riley and I chickened out and stayed in the motel.
Yeah.
So he didn't experience a lot, but they're big.
Yeah, they're big.
So on camera, we had 2 cameras in the room, one looking toward the door and one kind of looking opposite ways of each other. I'll say that. And Dylan's laying in the bed. You can see him snoring. And all of a sudden we have an image of a spirit stands up beside the bed and is standing there looking at Dylan.
Oh my
and
God.
we have it as plain as day, and it blew our mind. But also what we couldn't explain or figure out, that Buc-ee's doll. When we got there, we set that Buc-ee's doll in the rocking chair, hoping that we'd catch that rocking chair rocking with the Buc-ee's doll, and we never did. So we thought. So several weeks later, as Riley and I drag our butt and we finally start looking at that video we had, that Buc-ee doll in the video for 2 nights is disappearing in and out of the rocking chair.
Yeah, going totally
when I tell you, you can just see the camera and you can see the doll, and Dylan's asleep in the bed. He knows nothing's going on. You can see all this. And the doll is there, and then all of a sudden, I don't mean it just it just disappears like magic.
Yeah.
And it's gone. 1 minute it's gone for 3 minutes. It's gone for 15 minutes. Then all of a sudden, you look on and it's sitting back in the chair again. So it's the wildest thing. Anyway, that was one of the videos. We had to pull that down because it looked like something Riley and I or somebody edited, and we did not.
I can't edit nothing.
The funny thing about it, the first time we watched the video, we were sitting here, and my wife and my daughter comes with us sometimes, but my wife has nothing to do with it. She's like, "Don't you bring that stuffed animal back home. Don't bring nothing home." She thinks about all that. But she was sitting here right beside me in this room, and Riley, we were looking at the video, and we both just fell out when all of a sudden that stuffed animal disappeared. And she looked at me, and because this is several weeks later, we didn't know nothing about it. We didn't see it. So in other words, we didn't edit crap, but we were accused of editing video. So we had to take it down by really. This house ended up. There's another one we had to take down, but this certain situation, this house was in the movie, and we were only like the 3rd person who stayed overnight there and investigated the house. But during the when they were shooting the movie at this place, they had so many people quit the actual shooting, the filming crew, because things were happening in the house during the shooting, and they couldn't take it.
There's a portal in that place wide open. It's an interdimensional thing, because when you have things disappearing in and out like that, that's literally interdimensional. All the grids are broken down, and that means the veil between the worlds, I guess you could say, are practically non-existent. And you're talking about this, and I'm seeing like wavy red lines. It's like the static in that place. I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm just getting this. I'm sorry, it just kind of coming out. I feel like if you were to walk in there, you would have electronical interferences like crazy.
Oh,
yeah, and Yeah, and you're in certain places is definitely going to, like REM pods and stuff, they're not going to shut off because the grids and everything, like if you think of grids, they're gone. They're non-existent. And it's
They
very
went off
interesting.
nonstop. Remember,
They did go
as
off in that one room. They went off nonstop.
Yeah.
remember,
Is it a
I
bedroom? Was it the bedroom?
yeah, I
Yeah.
put a REM pod out, and within like
Holler.
5 minutes, it was dead.
You're blowing my eardrum out.
Yeah, and
He's hollering. Sorry, y'all.
I apologize.
I
He's
get
getting
accused of that too. It's okay.
I was messaging Angel about this. The one place that would be amazing to get permission to go to, and it would be so hard to get permission to go to, is the Warren Museum. Because I think I sent a video in the group chat about the overnight channel spending, I think, 5 days in the Warren Museum. They opened the real Annabelle cage door thing, and imagine going into the Warren Museum and staying the night in that place.
Don't
Like,
put no curb in my swerve. I'll do it.
Y'all are more of a daredevil. I want to try to, I think, and I'm jumping around. The biggest thing I get out of it is when we go to places and people are experiencing things and like home calls and businesses and we actually help them figure out, hey, this is what's going on, or we don't have a clue, or we figure it out and it's nothing. It's a draft coming through the home, or that's the part I like, when we actually feel like we're helping somebody, kind of like what you were saying earlier. Is when you
That's
help
my
somebody,
favorite.
it makes you come back and just makes you want to do it again.
Yeah.
But that house in particular is a very raunchy house. And so in the meantime, Riley keeps up with the owner of the house. He's actually he's a Hollywood movie star. And that was his home place where he grew up. And he's really cool dude, down to earth.
Yeah, I like him. He's cool.
So he's been in a lot of big movies. But anyway, that's beside the point. Riley keeps up with him, and he just told him last week or the week before that he's had to quit letting people investigate the home because people he wants to keep the location quiet so nobody knows that where it's at, but people are finding out where it's at and they're breaking in the house and crazy things like that. So he's kind of like locked it up now, and it's kind of off limits, which I don't blame him there.
Either.
But that place is pretty raunchy.
Yeah, it's bad.
House.
Yeah, I would love. That's the kind of stuff, like, it gets me excited. I'm not fearful anymore of the paranormal. Do I get like scared? Yeah, right. But like I'm just that's why I'm over here like I'm trying not to laugh, but my whole chat's talking about cat balls. So
and look, we actually we hadn't been crazy about the cat balls. We really haven't. But now in that house, and a few weeks ago at the Bellamy Mansion, the cat balls was going off.
The cat balls?
Yeah. They were balls to the wall.
They were balls to the wall.
Balls to the wall.
Balls to the wall in Wilmington, because for the first time. Go ahead, Halo. Halo, I can't hear you.
Can you not?
Halo, sign language. I can't hear you. What are you doing?
You got that.
Oh no. Oh no.
I said, you got that.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. Then.
So I hear. Oh, she's gone.
Shot.
But anyway, she was on stage at this Bellamy Mansion, and we actually, for the first time, I mean, we have a lot of equipment, and we don't bring out the cat balls much, but sometimes it's the easiest things to use.
Yeah.
We've not had luck with the balls, but we actually had a spirit.
I'm reframing myself right now so hard.
I think your friend's laughing too. I can feel her laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, my whole chat's going wild, and I got to mention the Psychic Sleuth because she was like, "You better mention us too." I'm doing every other weekly live with the Psychic Sleuth. She does true crime and stuff like that, so she tries to help find missing people. And she's like, "My cat balls always go off now because she started using them." So conversation, shout out to the Psychic Sleuth. She's freaking awesome.
I hear you. Shout out to the sleuth. I hear you. But we actually had a spirit in Wilmington just a few weeks ago roll the cat ball back to Halo.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It took us like 30 minutes or so, and it finally started happening. The first time we actually had interaction where a little girl spirit, that's where, Halo, like she said, she the kids like her where they don't like us.
Yeah.
They don't like me and Right. Dylan's a big guy, and I'm pretty sure he looks intimidating to a little girl.
Yeah.
So they don't have nothing to do with us. But Halo, after like 30 minutes of coaxing the spirit, she kept lighting it up on command. We said light the cat ball up, and it would light up. Then all of a sudden, Halo rolled it. Nothing happened. We got it back, rolled it again, and then all of a sudden, the ball rolled back.
Your girl's got some psychic power. I don't know where she went. She just vanished like a magician.
Oh, she's back. Yeah, she's back. Yeah, Halo, what'd you let your
There
battery
you
die?
are.
Oh,
Yeah, I need to add cat balls to my paranormal. I have no paranormal equipment, but I am kind of a walking ghost box. So, you know,
They'll be
just
the cheapest balls you've ever bought. Get it on Amazon.
yeah.
yeah, I'm going to get me some balls on Amazon, and I think I'm going to have Sharp Side of the Paranormal build my REM pod because he's got some good prices. He's doing it with 3D printers, and it's not like one of those big $300 ones. We don't know each other, but I see his stuff, and I'm going to have him build me a custom REM pod. I'm excited about that. It's only like $50.
Well, let me tell you, we'll hit up our buddy Angel. He's up here maybe still. He's Durham Paranormal. And he builds some awesome stuff.
He does.
Okay.
He prints it. Prices are great, and the real thing about it is it works because we bought the stuff off the online places, lots of it. And
it's
matter of fact, Angel's just built us a portal,
and
it is flat out amazing.
Good to know.
But he can do it. He prints his stuff also. He can do it in any color you want. He can put your logo on it. And the big thing is it works.
Yeah,
the stuff works.
I just got 2 REM pods from him. He designed for us, and I got our name of it, and our name on it glows in the dark.
Yeah, he
can. That's cool.
He just happens to be a paranormal investigator, but he's a electronics engineer, which helps him out, and so is his wife Ruth. So hit him up.
Yeah.
He would he'd give you a great deal, I'm sure. All right, Angel, I'm hitting you up, man. I know we want some.
I would love his information. I'm gonna check it out.
Angel, plug yourself up here, man.
If you're still here.
He's probably up here, unless he's gone to sleep.
He might be working. You know, he works like on ghost hunting stuff. He does that at night, remember?
Yeah, he does a lot of work at night on the equipment and stuff.
He works a day job. Then when he comes home, he works on ghost hunting equipment.
All right. He's there. There he is. He's there. All right, Angel. You got somebody who wants a REM pod, special REM pod. I know you can handle it.
Yeah, Angel, if you don't mind, just shoot me a private or like a DM, whatever the kids call it these days, on Facebook, because I got people in my chat wanting your information too. So it's a Chastity Luna Beams. You can find me on Facebook, and just please do that because I got a few people that may be interested if you're interested. That'd be great.
Well, look,
support local, support spooky. I do hashtags. So like one of the little campaigns I try to do, it's nothing large. I want to make it bigger, is to use hashtag support spooky. So anytime that I shout anybody else out, I try to like hashtag that and, create like a whole support spooky community for people like us. So I'm always about growing, and, even if somebody does the same work that you do, everybody's meant to have things come to them. I try not to gatekeep content or information. And that's kind of what that's about. It's nothing super special, but I would like to make it special for everybody.
Yeah, we're the same way. We don't hate on nobody.
No.
Teddy was just up here. I hadn't seen Teddy in a while. Teddy's another local investigator. He's local to us. I don't know, Teddy, you've been hiding lately. He's also got an awesome screen name.
Yeah.
Butthole Pleasures.
He's good with that.
Sorry, Teddy, but anyway, I think he's changed that. I don't know. Somebody said not the dog. Anyway, Chastity, take it. You run with it. Tell us. Me and Riley we were thinking some things to ask you. You told us a lot last time. You said something a little while ago. I can't remember how you worded it, and I said I won't forget. You said something about mind spirits.
Well,
do you think you I know your mind is people's mind is a lot stronger than they think it is. You can. Oh hell, she's got that doll out again.
I see that.
My dog gone.
Halo, Halo, I'm fixing to kick you off.
I lie. You're about to get in the boat.
So people's minds. For instance, you can be perfectly healthy and worry yourself sick. You can make yourself think you're sick when you're not, and you actually get all the ailments of feeling sick, dizzy, stomach ache, whatever it may be. But you said you were talking about mental spirits and different. Are you talking about people thinking about things and bringing it to fruition,
So
or what?
there's a couple different facets to that. So yes, some people can manifest things through thought forms. I think you're referring to thought forms. So thought forms can start out as like a worry or an anxiety or a traumatic event that people put a lot of their energy into, a time and thoughts. It's like when people get really down and depressed, especially people that are very open in general to receiving and giving energy, and it can like build an entity basically that ends up not really having a conscious. It's called like poltergeist activity. This is where you kind of get poltergeist stuff from too. That can eventually turn into beyond poltergeist into a thought form where it breaks off and has its own consciousness. And then people can create things like tulpas and stuff through witchcraft and stuff like that, where they create an entity. Yeah, they can create an entity.
Yeah, he's up here telling me in my ear topa something. I don't know the whole time.
There's several different types of avenues that this can go from. But if you like, let's say you are into that kind of stuff and you develop a topa to help you with a certain thing in your life, like, this is done through light and dark work. And from my understanding, if you do not regulate that topa and then like get it gone basically, and country terms we get it gone, then it can continue to grow because you end up passing away. The energy doesn't pass on, it stays like in between this realm and that realm. But then you have ways where entities can mess with you through your mind. I found that more darker, what a lot of people refer to as demonic entities, really get in your head, especially if you're open to that form of channeling, because we have different ways we perceive energy. But I've noticed that, like, for my clients and just different stories and stuff, when we start to help them, the further that entity gets pushed away, and if it's not crossed over. And sometimes I think that is thought for me type energy, but there's just a fine line really. But basically they can get in your head, and you have a difference between your own thoughts, what I call intrusive thoughts, and what I call divine whispers. And that's one of the first things that I teach people, is that when you're open or you're having a paranormal experience, you've got to understand and have the discernment and ask for the discernment for, between your own thoughts, intrusive thoughts, and divine whispers. Can this translate over into everyday, like, psychiatrist job stuff? I can't think of the word right now. I'm sorry. It was awful. But yes, it can. But I've learned that, it's kind of like spiritual therapy. So stuff can talk to you. I've had things do that to me when I was getting rid of my haunting, and it could come in. I've had things like, this sounds crazy. So for people that don't know me, or, believe it or not, that's your call. But I was driving down the road. I felt something in the car with me, and it was dark. And I'm like, you got to go. So I go into my certain state. It's not like I have to close my eyes and meditate. This happens while I'm fluently awake. Some people have to meditate. Some people don't. I threw it out of the car, and it wasn't there anymore. I asked my guides for help too, because I can't do any of this without my divine guidance. I'm just the conduit, right? So we get all of our help from above. I want to make that very clear. And I get kicked out while I'm laying in bed that night, not on my mind anymore. All of a sudden, I get a physical poke on the top of my head, and I'm in between that awake and asleep state, but I'm still conscious. I'm not asleep. I'm hearing everything. I'm still aware. Pokes me on the top of my head, and it literally said in this deep, dark voice, "Don't you ever do that to me again."
Oh wow!
Yeah, and I'm like, you're gone, you're out, buddy. I don't let any of that kind of stuff control me. I don't let any of that kind of stuff feel like it has control, because at the end of the day, it does not. We are living, we are protected by higher power. We have that kind of stuff within us, and we can get rid of it point blank. You don't have to accept it. Now, if you're a person like me or Riley or Halo, are we going to have paranormal activity even if we don't go investigate? It's very possible because we're open, to that kind of energy. But again, you just have to ride that wave, I mean, it just
Yeah.
comes in so many different forms, really, when you want to talk about the mental stuff, and then it messes with your mind. Intrusive thoughts can be, not forgiving yourself for a mistake you made, right? And you can be having the most, and let's say you're having paranormal activity. I feel like this is going to ring a bell to some people that are watching. I don't know why. It's just an, intuitive thing I'm picking up. If you're sitting there and you're having a normal, either level happy day, or you're maybe even a little above normal and just having a really good day and you're in a positive mind frame, you can have things come in and like intrusive thoughts from spirits. Sometimes they can be your own, but when you have an issue with a spirit or an entity, they can come in and put these negative thoughts in your head because they only feed off of those negative vibrations. So when you're up, they need to get you down so they can continue to be a part of an attachment. Attachments are not always physically inside of the body. They are in your aura, which is debatably, anywhere from feet to freaking a long ways away from you. That stuff extends through, you want to get into quantum theories and stuff like that. It extends through energy threads. There's always an extension. So when, like Halo, when you had that dream, you actually now have an energy thread to that place. So if you were to go to the Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary, you have some entity, either whether or being that is on the positive side, which is your guides, or the negative side that is drawing you in to that location to give you information. And that's part of the discernment thing. That's just a good example. I'm not trying to put you on blast, just saying like that's a good example.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So she has an energy thread to that place now. And anytime we open ourselves up to information, intuitive information, we have to be aware that we're creating these quantum threads. And this is the only way I've been able to learn how to describe it. Spirit has gave me great discernment and great information to try to explain like what's happening. That's part of what I do, is I try to explain it in a layman terms way enough to where everybody can kind of get an idea of what we're talking about. It's just some of it though. I mean, if it's like the first time you're ever hearing any of this stuff, then it's like probably over your head, but I promise it gets really deep. It really does. And so yeah, I'll leave that there. I could go on, but I'll leave that there. We'll be here 7 hours.
That's very interesting because it's almost like you can conjure something up yourself if you're not careful.
Yeah.
And that conjuring of something up doesn't always leave.
Yeah.
If you don't let it or make it. So I do understand what you're saying, but I also understand it's way over my head.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know everything. I'm given this information, I've been able to understand it to a degree and putting it in words, but I am fully aware that my journey is still, I'm just one person, I'm the conduit. If they want to give me the information, that's the beautiful thing about having intuition and discernment. We all can have discernment. We all can have intuition. It's just how far do you want to push yourself and work on those gifts, and it doesn't have to be the way that I do it or the way that Halo does it. You can use it for your everyday life. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, connection with spirit and all that is great.
And Chastity,
yes.
before I forget, there's something I want to tell you about that house in Kinston we were talking about. The reason I think that house is as bad off as it is, evidently somebody that was trespassing some kids and stuff, or maybe somebody that was doing some kind of worship stuff in there, satanic stuff.
I picked up on that for sure.
They painted symbols all over the wall. It was like somebody went through the house with a Black Sabbath album, painted every symbol on the album on the wall.
Yeah, those that he's right about that. It almost looks like there was a cult gathering in that place, or actually, I don't know. It's very eerie. It's kind of when you're looking at it, you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, what have I got put myself into?"
So I'm thinking something was conjured there.
You're right, in my opinion, because I already kind of picked up on that when we were talking about that place, that something has been conjured. You have to bring this kind of stuff in from the other side. You know, if you're
Yeah.
not creating it through a thought form or through that, you're having to pull this stuff in through the veil some way. They don't have spiritual permission to be here unless we give them spiritual permission to be here. And that's talking about like entities, basically, you know, or
Yeah.
anything. You know,
Yeah.
we have to give them
Yeah.
permission.
And I think Emily was already there, and whatever they brought in, that's probably why she's so scared of them, is because
Yeah.
that's her home, and these random demons come in and take over. I mean,
Yeah.
that poor child, not only is, I don't know if she thinks she's dead. I mean, she told us, help me. Maybe she's trying to get us to help her cross over, because, I mean,
That's the thing. That's the bad part. When we get it a lot, is we get help me,
It's regular.
help all the time, and we're like, dude,
How do I
how?
help?
How can I
Yeah.
help you? What's the
Well,
problem? You know, we're
Yeah.
lost when it comes to that.
a person like you, Halo, you have more than enough help from the other side with your gifts to be able to learn how to do that. And it's as simple as understanding about how to call in your guides for divine guidance. And as you grow, you're going to switch out your guides. And like, I don't know every one of my guides. I have a good idea. I can't necessarily see them, but I know they're there. And I can tell the difference between positive energy and negative energy. It's a collective feeling that I get through the different energy channels. You have more than enough power to be able, and we all do technically, but especially you, Halo, you can learn how to do that. And it's as simple as visualizing. I think you're empathic, clairsentient, and claircognizant. And you've got it all. You probably have a water sign in your chart, Halo, honestly. And that's what I want to talk to you about whenever you're ready. No rush, no pressure.
Me after
But
this.
yeah, say it again.
Message me after this. I'm good.
Okay, awesome. We can set something up, dear. I'd love to do that for you. But you can open up like a light portal. You can ask for divine guidance, and then you're the conduit to visualize that light portal that's going to the other realms to help cross things over. That is a summary of what I do. There's more to it. I'm not going to put out all the information, you know, because I mean, I don't try to gatekeep, but some things are dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay. Some things are dangerous. We can all ask for divine guidance to help something or somebody cross over. You don't have to be a psychic medium to do that per se, but will it always work? Maybe not. So there's just some things that I will kind of gatekeep on, because I don't want people that have no experience going out here being like, let's open a portal to heaven and cross something over. That's my only concern. So that's why I work on an individual
Yeah.
basis. But I mean, that's one way to do it.
And the one thing that when I was sitting on the floor doing the Estes method, the one thing that I keep thinking about that kept saying was snake bite, snake bite, snake bite.
Mm,
It has to do
yeah.
with Emily dying from a snake, or if it's something to do with all these demons, and what it is. But it repeated that word, if you go back and watch that live, at least like 20 times. Oh,
There's a lot of entities I've dealt with darker attachments that appear in the form of a snake or a viper. So you have, got to be very careful with that. And that's where the discernment part comes in. You know, I'm not saying you did or didn't. I don't mean it like that, just for the listener. But yeah, the snake bite and snakes, when you have that come up with darker energy, it's always affiliated with something very dark that is restrictive, that is holding somebody down in life or even potentially in death. Does that entity always look like a snake? Not necessarily. It could look like a black cloaked figure, and that could be just one of its forms, because you have shape-shifting entities.
yeah.
So that's really actually crazy.
I
And
mean,
that would be a lot to uncover.
It was saying that, and then I got touched. Oh my god, Ziva. I got touched, and then I kept hearing heavy footsteps behind me. Mind you, Riley was on the one side, and they were on the other side. And I don't remember if this was before or after the door slammed, but those heavy footsteps, you could feel the whole floor shake right behind you. You could hear them, you could feel them. And that was right before, I think, is when you guys found Emily was sitting on my lap.
Yeah, we actually,
trying to
we
get
saw,
behind me. And
So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No,
I was going to say my opinion, if it's that dense and you're hearing the footsteps, not to say that the footsteps you heard running wasn't the little girl, but when you have that overwhelming presence and just like footsteps that are real heavy, you know that's very dense and low vibrational. period.
Yeah.
Because to be stuck here in the spirit, whether it's, do I believe there's positive earthbound spirits that don't mean any harm? Yes, I do. But do they still need to be here? That's totally up to their choice and their free will. But sometimes they get stuck and they can't go back. But they
Yeah.
still are hurting the living too, because they have to survive. Somehow they pull off of like ethereal energy that's abound.
Yeah.
So even if you have a positive earthbound spirit, it's still not a good thing. And you're right, things can pretend to be something else to get closer to you. So just be very careful with that. See, I'm the type of person, I heat on the side of caution because I teach people about the paranormal, and I do come from like a side of caution. Is everything dark and nasty? Absolutely not. But
No.
just from my experience, it's very low vibrational. You know, that probably wasn't the best. Not saying the little girl wasn't sitting on your lap. I'm talking about what was behind you. Because
Yeah.
as you're talking, I'm seeing just like this looming darkness
I
like
felt
go over.
like over top of me when I
Yes.
was walking around. It was like right on top of me, like staring down. And
Yes,
like
We
that's exactly what I got, the image.
I feel something like right behind me, like over top, like this tall figure just staring down at me.
we got a
Yeah.
one time, the time actually when we were there before Halo, we actually got a humongous, and I shouldn't say giant, but Dylan's 6 foot 6'1". Dylan's thick, he's a strong guy, and this figure was a couple of feet taller than Dylan, and it was just as wide as Dylan. A dark figure was in the same room we were in last time. I
Yeah.
feel like that's the same entity that was you're talking about, Halo. It's a giant of a
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, because it's
Of a
bigger up
orb.
top than it is at the bottom. So like its
Yeah.
shoulders are very wide, and it just has
Yeah.
this presence of
Yeah.
like just
Yeah.
constantly walking around like that too. I see it, and I see like the hardwood floors, and it's got this blue mucky energy around it. Anytime I see blue, that color blue associated with the entity, that's sadness, repression, depression, and these are the things that this entity is capable of serving up to the living if it wants to intertwine or have like a, not just like attachment, but even just like a interaction. I also feel like you'd get really hot in this place.
Oh
Like you
yeah,
might get,
dude.
yeah, you're going to get really hot here because this energy is like coming
Yeah.
up and just
It's
looming on you.
Yeah. And the day, like we went that night, and when I woke up in the morning, I mean, you know, some dreams can feel real. Like they can feel real. But I mean, when I tell you I woke up and in my dream something grabbed my neck in that house, the same room, basically the same place. We were trying to get out of there as fast as we can. Like we were like leaving all our stuff, like leaving because of what we encountered. And it felt like something grabbed my neck with its whole hand and like pulled me back into the house to like keep me there. And when
Yeah.
I woke up and I could still feel the hand as I woke up, and I felt it for another like, 5-10 seconds. And I mean,
I'm feeling it right now as you're
so,
describing it.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was like a tight grip, but you could feel it. And I'm like, this is not like a dream when it feel real as you're awake. This is
Because
not.
it was an astral experience. So you have dreams, you have remote viewing, and you have astral experience. And it seems like you have that tapped in energy where things can easily give you nightmares and easily pull you in. So that's some of the stuff too I'd like to definitely talk to you about. And you know, that it's cool that you can experience that, but I swear, like your age and learning how to like really deal with this, and it's a constant learning journey. It'll never stop. The things you're going to be able to do is going to be amazing. I nerd out about stuff like this, and it just makes me really happy that I've met you because, you
You're
know, like,
welcome for getting you
yeah,
started in this highlight.
She didn't need help. She didn't need help. She just found us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I messaged you, Dylan, and Riley all at the same time. Riley was the only one that responded. I was like, yeah, someone responded. I was waiting for none of you to respond to me, to be honest. Or like accept me to go on these amazing opportunities with you guys. I'm like, all this has happened my entire life. I mean, it's crazy, like to the point where not only footsteps of things dragging, but it's to the point where this homestead, I can see figures, and I mean not black. I mean, I can make out what they're wearing, all the detail, their face, their nose, their eyes, everything.
Are you
It's
seeing them with your eyeballs, or are you seeing them with your mind's eye?
I can physically see them like I see y'all right now. I was
That's awesome.
home run one night, and in the master bedroom where you always hear dragging, where the TV would always mess up. I mean, this master bedroom is something in this place. I mean, I could see this woman clear as day. Just standing there in like the 1800s like bonnet, and you can see the top of her gown and her hair. You can make out every single detail of this woman, and
That's awesome.
it's insane. This house is insane.
Did you
That's
try to talk
crazy.
to it?
Faucets turning on and off, like footsteps.
And now, is this the house in Kingston, or is this the house you live in?
It's in Maine. It's
Oh, okay.
dead. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
where
the
she
pages of
grew up.
history are just they're there. It's all together.
Yeah, I need to drag them there one day, to be honest, because we still own it. We still own the house.
Yeah. That's
I don't know how you
crazy.
slept. I don't know how you slept in that house.
I don't either.
I guess you had to. The
There-
best you could.
Yeah.
I was fine everywhere in this house but one bedroom. And this bedroom is, especially right by the window, it feels so demonic. It feels like someone died right there. And I don't mean like heart attack. I mean like it feels like someone got murdered right by that window, and you just don't want nothing to do with that room.
Could
don't
have.
Pass that room. You don't want to be in it.
Was there a street nearby?
I mean, oh my god, I don't know how. I lived in a valley, so it was kind of like on a hill, but not like mountain hill. Like you can look it up. It's called the Martin Acadian Homestead,
Okay.
and it's
Just curious.
yeah, it's not a big property, but it's a really really good size of a property. It used to be bigger, but you know how life is. They put
Yeah.
more in, they put more streets in, they did all this stuff. So it's not as big anymore, but it's still pretty decent. But it's insane. The stuff I grew up with, I mean, experienced stuff since I was maybe 5 is when it all started. It's insane. It's only going, I don't want to say worse. I would say better.
It's gotten stronger.
Yeah, most definitely. Because now I'm older. Now my brain is like more developed as I was as 5. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's great though. I mean, like I said, if you're already in this path and it's something you're interested in doing, you still got a long ways to go. And if you're already able to do this now, you'll be able to do even more amazing things. Not saying you aren't now, you're already doing amazing things, but just imagine the future.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful part of everything, honestly.
Yeah, it's already.
So very exciting. That's so exciting. I love it. Love it.
So
But yep.
tell us, Chastity, so as far as I know, you said you've only been doing it 5 years, but you've been doing it since you were a little girl. You just didn't know it.
Yeah.
So what's the most interesting in your most recent 5 years? What's the most interesting thing you've experienced? Paranormal
Yeah.
wise.
So this is one of the stories I was going to share tonight. I had 2 prepared, but we'll go ahead and talk the last 5 years. So about 3 years ago, my mother invited me over to her longtime friend's house, and I'm going to try my best to keep names out of all this. I have shared this other places, but this is wild. And there was, I came over, they had like, this had dinner or something, and it was near my ex-husband's house. Pretty close. So I went over there, and everybody's having a little beer, nothing wild, no big party or nothing like that. And everything was going well. And we were sitting in the ladies' room because they had a corn snake, and they wanted to see the corn snake and hold the corn snake and all that. And they knew that I did this type of work. So this is like right when I first started to be public about my work after I made my debut, I guess you could say. So they're like, what do you feel in my house? And I'm thinking to myself, Lord, help me, because people want to ask me those questions, but are you really prepared for the answers? I knew nothing. Okay. Absolutely nothing about anything. I hadn't seen them in years, like, whatever. And the mom asked me, and I closed my eyes. Everything was dark. And I saw like this entity with horns that kind of had that shape of Baphomet or the goat, kind of. But it was just a really dark entity. And I'm like, I see something coming through. And I told him what I saw. And the mother's like, oh my God. And then her son, which is her only child, sitting in the corner. Excuse me. He was 30-ish at the time, but he's slightly autistic, but he's still highly functionable. So it's not like he can't do things. Like, he's highly functionably autistic. He can work a job and have a conversation, but his mentality is more like very kind of childlike in a way, but he's still adult smart. He knows things. Just to give you the preface here. So the mom's like, oh my God, it's that thing. And then the son is in the corner because he's like sitting there because everybody's got a chair, and everybody's got the snake and stuff. And he's like, oh my God, it's coming back. It's coming back. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on? He's like, this was something we dealt with in a very panic voice. This is something we dealt with, some years ago. I had a friend that was into the darker stuff. And then, come to find out, the guy has been like being jumped. So there's a difference between possession and being jumped. Possession is like where, well, kind of, there's a fine line. Like if you walk into a location and you have something jump on you, kind of like Riley was expressing, where you had something like jump on him for like 30 seconds where it made him kind of like irritable and dark or just dark minded. That's being jumped. Being possessed is different, because then you have things like where spirits can lay dormant inside of you. And that is more of like a possession, where they lay dormant inside of you and then you react out. They can come to the surface. So once this guy started freaking out, I was like, okay, let's calm down. Let's go pray. I would like to walk through your house. Let's see what's going on. I was not prepared to do this at all, but I was happy to do it. I walked, her bedroom was on one side of the trailer. I walked all the way back to the other side of the trailer where there was another bathroom and 2 more bedrooms. I get into his bedroom and I'm like, oh God, this is where it's all at. Because once I hit the hallway, it's like one of those standard trailers that have the kitchen and the living room together, the master on one side, and the long hallway with 2 or 3 bedrooms and a bathroom on the other. So I start to go towards that hallway, and I just feel like this energy pushing against me. Clairsentiently, I'm feeling it. And it's just like pushing me back. Like, no, don't come back here. Don't do it. And I'm like, well, I'm coming anyways. Because, I don't let things dictate what I do in my life. And this was a few years ago now. So I'm totally on a different level, I could say, than I normally am, or am now rather. And then I get back to the room and I go back there and I tell him, I'm like, there's a lot of energy back here. Look, let's pray, calm down. Well, I pull in the light and I put my hands on his shoulder and I started to pray for him. And he's like, oh God, I got to go to the bathroom. And I thought maybe he had to take a tinky winky. No, he had to do a big number 2. So I just left that bathroom area, let him have his privacy. Yeah, because like when things start manifesting in people, they try to expel out. That's why you see vomit, you see spit, and you see other stuff. Okay, this gets a little, this viewer discretion is advised on this. Okay, I'm telling you guys right now, if you're sensitive to this kind of stuff, you might want to skip ahead or wait to watch the replay or something. I'm just letting you know. Okay. He comes out of the bathroom. I go back in there. I lay hands on him again, and I start praying and bringing in the light. And his whole demeanor changes from like a cool, nice kind of dude to just like. And I'm like, oh wow. And I started hearing the claircognizant stuff. Like, he wants to hurt you. And I just blatantly ask him. I'm like, I stop and I'm like, do you want to hurt me? I'm like, are you getting like weird feelings? And it wasn't like I was going to like, square up with him. I just wanted to ask him because Spirit was telling me to. And he said, he had his head down and his just demeanor changed. He's like, no, but he does. And I'm like, all right, we got to get out of here. Done. So I walk back out the into the bedroom where the bathroom was and walk into the next bedroom. I'm like, we got to get out of this hallway because this is kind of where this domain of this energy is. It's all in the back of this part of the house.
No,
So
God,
we don't make it out of the hallway. We don't make it out of the hallway. He turns, and right before you get out of the hallway, like 3 feet, there's that other bedroom door. He turns and walks into it, and he's like rocking back and forth. He's like, nobody loves me. Just melting down, just total meltdown. And all of a sudden, he's like sitting here freaking out. And he's standing up, and he's like, I don't feel so good. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. He literally goes, falls straight out. I grab him. Luckily, he's a little taller than me, but luckily he was thin enough, not super big dude, to where I could grab the back of his hoodie with one hand and help lower him to the ground. And he went out. And then I started screaming for my mama, because my mama was a CNA. And I kind of knew what was coming, but my first concern was health. So my mama comes running in there. His mama comes running in there. And my mom gets down on the ground, and bless her heart, she's not too much older than me. She had me when she was very young, but she has health problems. She's not able to get up and down very fast, but she gets down there. She's like saying his name. Are you okay? Are you okay? And I just got this overwhelming feeling of like intense, just tense energy, like, and I was like, Mama, get up. And then he started contorting like this, and I know this sounds fucking wild. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I know this sounds wild, but he just starts contorting, and then he does a full flip on the floor and comes up, like not off the floor, but his eyes go like pop, and his teeth go, his whole demeanor changes. Not only does his whole demeanor change, also does his voice. He's like, what you hear. Okay. And now I know autistic people can have these types of things. I'm highly aware of that. You just had to be there. So once he like pops his eyes open, he gets this, and he takes my mother, which is almost twice his size, while he's laying flat on his back with one hand, and swipes my mother away. And she slides out the door and hits the other side of the bedroom. Now, this is a trailer, so if y'all have been in a trailer, the hallways aren't that wide, but it was a good 4 feet. He made her go back, and I said, y'all need to back up now. And like his mama and my mama are sitting there holding each other, and I started praying. And I fight with this thing. So hard. And I mean, it was saying weird stuff. I'm like, Archangel Michael is coming right now. You need to leave him. I'm calling in divine guidance in the name of Jesus and all that stuff. And he was talking back. Everything I said was mocking God. I mean, he was like, when I told him Archangel Michael was coming, he was like, the sword is falling. And like, it was awful. I'm getting cold chills thinking about it.
Look at this crap.
Yeah, and I'm actually getting a cold breeze, so I'm gonna push all this out for a second. But basically, they brought me a crucifix. I was instinctively put it straight to his forehead, and I prayed, and then he went back out again, and he come to, and he walked. He's like, "What just happened?" Because he talks kind of like that, like, "What just happened?" Why? I'm so tired. And he's like, oh, I don't feel good. What's wrong? And we take him into his mother's bedroom and lay him down on the bed. And then that process comes back. He manifests again. So what I didn't realize what I did at that time, but by me praying with that entity attachment, I mean, and some of the stuff he was saying, I'm getting a pain in the back of my neck too. Some of the stuff that he was saying, was very bad. Like, God is dead, just things you would expect to hear from somebody that just manifested an entity or a demon. I think it was a demon, but ultimately it went on for about 2 hours. We ended up reading the Lord's Prayer, because at that time I didn't know it by heart, which I shamefully say I was ashamed of, but I do now after that experience. But what I realized is we all have the gift to unveil darkness. And what I did that day, I did not realize that I released something in him. I provoked it by praying and bringing in the amount of light that I can bring into a situation is intimidating, because those things know that they go bye-bye. And I was at that precipice of point of doing it, but I didn't understand that then. So long story short, that was my craziest experience to date in person. Like again, people can believe me or not. That's fine. This was just my experience. My mother was there. Her boyfriend was there. There was 5 other people there that can vouch for this. And it kind of keeps happening. And, you can't really help somebody unless they want to help themselves.
Yeah.
So, and
You
I'm going to
didn't.
leave that up, even though I could try to help this boy. I say boy, he's a man, but his mentality, so I apologize. But it's just,
Yeah.
and people that are like autistic, they are lights too. Like they have and you can attract things. And that is a
Somebody was
message that I would like to
saying
say.
that. Somebody up here was just basically saying that they have a higher productivity of brain processing and higher levels of electrical activity of the brain.
Yeah.
Which is
Yes, and that's true. Yes.
So
They can channel and manifest much faster, like channeling in thoughts even too. Everybody does that. It's not just for psychics and mediums. They just process stuff faster. The faster you process it, the more information you can bring in from the collective.
But there was a part of him that he couldn't he didn't realize what was happening. So it kept happening.
He don't remember any of it.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Remember that lady Brushy that day we went?
Mm-hmm.
The one who was in the lunchroom behind us talking to people. So having full conversations.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Riley and I, when we were at Brushy, there was a young girl, I'm going to say a teenager, but she was autistic and she was speaking very loud, very fast.
Like having conversations.
She was having conversations, and the parent and her parents, I guess, or her caretaker, whoever was with her, didn't say a word about it. And me and Riley, the whole time, we're sitting here thinking, dude, I really feel like she's talking to somebody that's here. But she the whole time we saw her, she was, jabbering with somebody.
Yeah.
Intelligent speaking, not just gibberish. I mean, like in a conversation.
Yeah, like an actual intelligent conversation.
Yeah.
And that's the scary part is like, things are attracted, to people that are highly sensitive to, just their environment. It's all about your perceptions. You have your natural perceptions like touch, taste, smell, all that kind of stuff. But then you have a mirror of your extrasensory perceptions, which is, taste is clairgustance, when you can like taste mysterious things. You touch, like a physical touch would be clairsentient, which means clear feeling in the body. That's the thing, is we have these spiritual senses. That's why it's called a sixth sense, but it's more than, just a 1/6 sense. There's a whole thing. And that's what I'm trying to teach to people. This is why I'm trying to get my classes and everything going, where I can help people like Halo, that are, some people get, like she's got going on, honestly, she's got a team of people that can help you through this, but there's so many people out there that do not understand this, and they suffer greatly in life. Like there's people that, and they can't tell anybody because they're scared of what the repercussions are going to be, and that was part of the mission statement for myself. And then, Lights at Midnight is, people suffer in silence, and we want to give you a voice, whether you choose to remain voiceless or not. We want to relate to you. We want to validate you, so you are not crazy. Do we have to separate and blur, the lines sometimes? Yes, sometimes it is people's minds, because our minds run with things. Sometimes it's not. And that is the facet of the paranormal, the supernatural. And I'm super passionate about this. Like that is my spiritual purpose.
Yeah. I get it. I just don't understand it.
That's okay. I honestly, it's a learning journey. Like I didn't learn all this overnight. Some of it, I spent 20 years watching paranormal stuff, looking for answers that didn't exist, and just the ghost hunting side. And that's not talking about y'all. I'm talking about these shows on TV. You see what I'm saying? That's what I looked into for years. And it didn't give me any answers.
Oh, yeah. I get that.
There's a paranormal show I just started watching, and oh my God, is it insane? They split up in, I think, 3 groups of 2 or 3 people, and they stayed overnight in these places and had cameras going 24/7. And the stuff they caught, man, is insane. I just find it. It's somewhere on my. It's called 28 Days Haunted.
Oh, we've seen that. And there's
I
different series of
love
that. Yeah, there's
that.
different series.
Oh, that's here. That's Madison Dry Goods store.
That's where
That's
we
the
were
one I
going.
went to. Yeah,
Yeah, we're going
you
there.
can't get in there and
We
do any
are.
investigating really. You can go visit, but that's it.
I think we're doing some remodeling or something. I think Dylan's talked to him a couple of times and never got a straight answer. But I think there was a show like Halo you're talking about. They actually filmed that there. I think is that
They
right?
did.
Yeah, somebody stayed there for several days or something.
Yeah.
28.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Dry Goods Country Store. Or
Yeah,
Yep.
Dylan knows a lot about that. He's done a lot of research on that place, and we were like just going to go and show up on our way to Asheville one day. So we're going to make our rounds. We're just going to go find out and walk in there.
Y'all holler at me. I'll take you to the graveyard where the Lawsons are buried and stuff, and I'll show you. If y'all want to come swing by and grab me, we'll go up there, or I'll meet y'all there. It don't matter.
We were just talking. I'm not jumping subjects, but we would like to do that. But the Lydia's Bridge, we've been talking about going there for a while, for like a year or more. Can you? Is that bridge still there? Because when you see pictures of it on the internet, it doesn't look like there's certain pictures looks like a regular bridge, and then you see pictures of people standing in a rounded type arch under a bridge, maybe an older bridge. I was just curious if it's still the same bridge.
I will look into that because honestly, it's probably 45 minutes to an hour from me. I think that's how far it was from me because I think it's more on the Burlington side of Greensboro. But what I can do is try to help y'all with that. And when it comes to like Brookstown Inn and like Madison Dry Goods and Stokes County, I know it pretty well, like the area. But this area, I'm not as familiar with. I've only seen pictures and heard about it online, but I think it's like almost an hour away. So I can help with that, like try to get some information.
Well, we're going to head that way. That's what I told Riley. We're going to start updating our calendar and start making our rounds out again. After I get through this few projects I got to do. So
sounds good.
Said, yes, manifestation. I don't know. I'm a little concerned now. Oh, that was you. What is that? Oh yeah, Netflix 28 Days Haunted. So that's a Netflix series. Is it? Are they still doing it now, or is that something before COVID?
I don't think they made another season, did they?
No. Does it look? Yeah, it's only 6 episodes. I haven't finished the first one, but dude, so far, I mean,
yeah, there's new owners of the Madison Dry Goods store. When me and my sister went, she just reminded me of that. When me and my sister went, and then we both like had some type of weird allergic reaction, felt like crap the next day. And I caught some stuff. I've got some pictures and like videos I haven't shared. It's not a lot, but I did catch some things because I was going to share it on Lights at Midnight. And now I'm going to bring it into Luminary Luna Beams because we did a big 3-hour segment with somebody that lives in Stokes County that is related to the Charlie Lawson family. And then me and my sister went there, and then me and Emily channeled it all in and did like this big 3-hour special. And we couldn't even get the audio right. We had paranormal interferences through the podcast. Like there's just some of the audio is crap because we could not, it was like beeping and it was just wild, which is per normal for that kind of energy. The only thing about Stokes County is there's really nowhere, there's places to go and kind of investigate, but there's nowhere you can like, say, hey, we're doing a ghost tour. There's hardly anything like that around here, truly. Like you have to just find the places, find the places on the side of the road or go do a little tour, or, and set up your stuff. But the graveyard, that's a place that is actually private property. But I've been out there, and if you go during the day and you stay, you don't want to be busting out no spirit boxes. You just kind of want to record, take some pictures, and maybe set some flowers down and be on your way. Because they will call the police on you, and you don't want Stokes County heat. So,
no, talking about graveyards, me and Riley go. We probably go more than we should.
Yeah,
and we get more activity during the day than we do at night.
Yeah,
so we don't have a problem going during the day.
Yeah, and
EVPs are off the hook.
Another
Yeah.
bridge I go to, it's not in North Carolina, it's in Texas, but it's Gulf Bridge, and I think this is the bridge where they have the trees and they call it the portal to hell. And if you touch it in car crashes, you'll die, you'll get cancer, you'll get all this stuff because they say it's a portal to hell. This is the openings to hell, and I think it's right by Goatman's Bridge.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you're right about that. That's interesting. I'd love to travel. I'm manifesting that. Like, this is why I want to get my content out here to help people, and I want to manifest the ability to travel, because I know Rochelle's talking about Tombstone. Me and her want to go out there. Like, I want to do a whole tour out west. So I'm like praying that things will work out, and I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm ready to get her done.
Yeah, we feel the same way. We want to do a lot more.
Down south needs a road tour.
Yeah. Let's hit
the road tour is not a
let's go find and his parents and that. I say it's the uncle, but you know, it's too suspicious. They're like, Lizzie Borden killed them. No, she didn't. It was the uncle. He randomly showed up and then disappeared and then back and didn't notice the crowd of people surrounding the house. And got into a fight with everyone before he left, and then people found them dead. I don't know. It's so suspicious to me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know that whole story at all. But yeah,
always stories. There's stories within stories within stories, but somewhere in there is an origin.
Yeah, and that's why I would love to go to the Lizzie axe murder house to find out from the spirits that are actually there what they remember happening and try and solve these mysteries. You know?
Yeah.
Because I mean, imagine finding. They have so many people wondering who with the Lizzie Borden thing, but the axe murder house, they never found out who did it. They never questioned like anyone, barely. They had no suspects. Like, they have no idea about anything. So that's definitely one. It's like, if you can contact these spirits and see if they remember the face of who did it or something, you know.
And we can see, like, that's the thing about our gifts is, like, if we push, we can channel in and see what we get. That'd be a fun project to do. If you wanted to do it, we can do it. We can try to channel in and see what we get. That'd be fun. That's fun to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Riley, you think sounds awesome with the paranormal, including monsters?
Yeah, of course. You know me. I told you that the first day I met you.
So what's your opinion on cryptids? What's y'all's opinion on cryptids?
I don't put much thought into the whole paracryptid or alien stuff. I just focus mostly on ghost hunting, paranormal, supernatural stuff.
Right. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I think people see certain things, but I personally think a lot of cryptids are not fleshy. They're more interdimensional things. And then some things are fleshy, but people see things that might be mutated because of all the nuclear waste that's around. You know, shit's got like 3 eyeballs or something, you know, like the Simpsons and, you know, all that kind of stuff. I believe in aliens, right? I believe in that. I believe they're interdimensional beings. I believe that we are not alone. I believe there's other places.
It's too big. And the fact that we're vortexes, like the 2 mirrors and all this stuff. I mean, this galaxy alone, and then other, I don't want to say reality, but there's got to be something else. I mean, if spirits can travel between mirrors and water, like the one place I would die to go to, it's in England. It's the Queen Elizabeth's castle.
Mm-hmm.
And they say the pond there down by, there's a path that leads to it, is so haunted because it's not just mirrors. Apparently spirits can travel through water and like rivers and ponds and all this. So I mean,
I think they can travel anywhere they want to.
Yeah, I think they can too.
Definitely more out there.
Mhm.
Yeah,
There's definitely a lot out there we don't know about for sure.
Yeah,
that's
and it's more
true.
so these items have such an energy like a conduit. They're a conduit for things. Mirrors, what the emphasis that we as humans put on a mirror, it's a mirror image. That emphasis itself creates that we create. We're made in, our creator's image. We are creators. Like the water,
Yeah,
they travel through water because of the cell. How can I say this? The cellular makeup of water and the way that it's in the form of energy, and then the interdimensional, you get into quantum physics when you get into that. A firm
okay.
believer that quantum physics will prove the existence of a soul at some point, or at least give, without a shadow of doubt, of multiple dimensions. I think they already have that information, honestly. It's just something they really don't want to give to the public. And you start getting into like the fifth dimension, where certain subatomic particles start turning in on themselves like in a Rubik's cube. Well, if you start flipping that a Rubik's cube, you're going into different dimensions. It's like it's not just stacked layers. I explain it that way because it's easy to understand. It's all together as one, existing in places we can't even see. And then you're getting stuff like dark matter and all that kind of crazy stuff. I love stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that dark matter, I don't want to see any of that.
I'm good.
I don't know how I'd react. And we're all the
Oh,
time asking something to manifest. I
Yeah,
hadn't figured that out yet. If we actually
I want
get
to
something
say
to
it.
manifest and we actually acknowledge it,
I
I
want to
actually
say
feel
it.
like things have manifested around us because we've asked for it.
yeah.
We just
I
haven't.
provoke
We
it.
haven't picked it up. I really do, because we kept. Not long ago, we had something telling us the light. We were like, "Show us, manifest,
Yeah,
show us
show us
yourself." And it kept
bring
telling
it.
us the light, and I'm telling. So we're into pitch black dark, and I'm thinking, dude, where's the light? I mean, let's find it. It's trying to show us, but we weren't smart enough to
Or
see it.
it's light because it wants to cross over and it can't. That's its way of
Ah,
asking.
Yeah,
and we thought about that too. We were like, dude, go to the light. I don't know. We couldn't figure it out. We couldn't figure it
Yeah.
out.
It's a long journey, it's a long path, and meeting people, and I think that's the beautiful part of meeting people is like things y'all have experienced, I haven't experienced, and vice versa. And you can just learn so much from a collective
yeah,
group, and there's just people that are so
Oh, yeah.
dedicated to this work, and it's been a privilege for y'all to allow me to join you guys and talk to you and get to know you, and it's really exciting, honestly.
yeah.
Oh,
That's the same for
feelings mutual.
you.
Feelings mutual for sure.
We enjoy it.
We're going to head your way, and it won't be too long.
That'd be great.
We're going to figure it out. Like I said, when we get these few little things I got to do with work projects behind me, we're going to start getting back on. Because we said we were going to go a lot of places this year, do a lot more traveling.
Yeah,
Not too dang far, but
Kentucky's on our to-do list.
but there's so much.
I'm trying to get out to Kentucky right now, and the freaking rental car rates are crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going. We'll pick you up on the way through. We'll be going.
All right. I
When we
got
get
some
out-
stories about Kentucky. Shout out to my friend Beth, and I've helped a lot of people in Kentucky. That place is wide open.
Somebody up here was talking about Grandma Cherry, Hell's Gates in Lubbock, Texas. So maybe you're in Texas. I'm not sure. I take it you are. That Hell's Gate, though, I don't know about that. I'm curious what the story is there. There's no telling.
Yeah. Well, guys, unfortunately, I'm going to have to end my time with y'all because I've got 4 hungry individuals in there that are like, when's dinner? So I guess we're going to go to cookout or something. I don't know. We're going to figure it out. I ain't cooking tonight.
Get a milkshake. They're always good.
Yeah. Brings all the boys to the yard. Cookout. That's what brings everybody to the yard's cookout. I don't know if y'all have one down there. You got to.
Yeah, we got some. The
Yeah.
milkshakes out of this world.
Yeah.
So we
But yeah, it's a
appreciate you
pleasure.
coming on again very much.
Thank you, Chastity.
And anytime you want to, he'll be worrying you. I'm sure he'll be messaging you.
Yeah, I'm gonna worry the piss out of you. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Maybe every other week. Right now, I can at least say maybe I can commit to like how it's this Wednesday now. Not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after. Maybe I can come back on for right now every other week. Does that sound okay? Until y'all tell me just to not come.
No, it sounds great. Sounds great.
Okay. All right, guys. It's a pleasure to meet you, Halo, and I will message you if not tonight, tomorrow, because I got a few things I got to do, but we can set something up, okay?
Okay.
All right. We'll see y'all later.
Thank you.
See you
Bye.
later. Bye, y'all. All right. Halo. Hey, Halo.
All right, y'all. Halo, we're the same way. Halo,
Yeah.
we're ready to eat, so
Yeah.
we're gonna be we're down south out. So at this time, appreciate everybody getting on.
Thank you all for getting on.
Hope you enjoyed Chastity. Follow her, Chastity Luna Beams, Facebook. She's got a YouTube page. She does a lot of podcasts. Very intelligent in the field that she does, and so maybe she'll be working with us some, and we can help each other.
Yeah.
But anyway, until next time, you got anything?
Until next time, y'all, just keep a lookout on the page. Updates are coming. We're trying to work through these next week or two at work, and then we're gonna hit the road again. Get back in the swing of things on investigations.
Yep.
Like we said, we've got to get in touch with the historians.
Oh yeah, so they'll be contacting us about giving us a tour at the local Civil War battleground, which is within Halo. You're only like 5 miles from it.
Yeah, really close. Yeah.
So it'll be a really cool place for us to go and investigate. Yeah. The part of it is we got to find out exactly where it's at because some of it's private property and we want to get permission to do it. So this is our door opening to take their tour.
That we've been wanting, that we've been looking for.
Yeah, so we'll do that, but we'll keep everybody enlightened on when that happens. And we got April the 13th. We got the Trevette Clinic. We'll be there at that Parafest. And that's about all I got, man. I'm ready to
And until next time, you can catch us at that Down South out.
Later.